morning, my lovers. Happy Monday. It's December 11th. I'm MJ. We're going to do a little bit of a tarot read this morning for the energies for this Alta Love Collective. Fantastic start, you guys. 5 of Cups. That's like emotional losses, grieving, emotional pain. Let's pull some more cards to see what else there is. You guys know this is for fun and entertainment. It's a way to get to know you all. Of course, I do offer private readings. These are general readings, so, you know, take what resonates. Leave the rest. I do think you guys know that. Yeah, okay, so for some of you, this is likely disruption in a relationship. Things are not going great, and there is emotional pain. I mean, for some of you, these are always just the way it is. Like, there could be somebody else involved in the relationship and you're finding out. There's a King of Wands here. They did come out in the reverse, but they're now in the right. I think this could be somebody at a distance, or somebody's somebody from afar has somehow disrupted the dynamic of this relationship. There's some sort of limitation here within this dynamic, which is causing grief. And of course, it could be somebody else getting involved and creating these issues. Yeah, this is possibly somebody from your past who has, I want to say, caused a lot of harm, but really it's like somebody who's done some emotional damage, or somebody who's really hurt the heart. And it's almost like you or this other person hasn't quite been able to let it go. So it's coming back around. So some of the cards I'm looking at, by the way, as far as the people in this story go, there's a King of Swords, an Empress, and a King of Wands. So this is a fire sign, an air sign, and possibly an earth sign. To me, Empress, they really can be any of the signs, because they're unified. You know, they've mastered all the elements to become really the master of their universe, kind of thing. So the disappointment is between the Empress and the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, again, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They're although I gotta say too, like, I'm feeling like these two characters have maybe been having a hard time, or haven't been communicating very well. You could be lovers, you could be business partners, you could be friends. And then there's this other energy that comes in, this King of Wands. So the King of Wands at the moment I'm looking at is in the upright. They're looking in the other direction. And then there's a Nine of Wands. So I'm kind of wanting to say, like, be careful with this person coming back around, because more of the energy is Judgment reverse. This is not going to end well. 3 of Swords reverse, 4 of Swords reverse, as in this is something from the past, maybe hasn't been resolved, but it ended in heartache. It was super duper painful. And then the Judgment reverse and the Chariot reverse is like, if somebody's coming around from the past who hurt you in the past, they're possibly in a pattern of behavior, as in, protect yourself, because even if this person looks like shiny and new, or wants something shiny and new, pretends they want something shiny and new, this just looks like a repeating cycle. Why? Because it's a holla. This energy is just super painful and disappointing. I kid you not, because there's this energy too. You've already been through this by the looks of the cards. So you've already been through this cycle with something super painful emotionally in the heart space. Judgment reverse in that 4 of Swords, I'm like, this, it's almost like this hasn't quite been laid down. And if they're coming in for the return, this could be a little bit of a, almost like a test maybe, or you're just going to have to go through the cycle again. for some of you, okay, this is trippy, but like for some of you, it's actually maybe not the same person. It's same energy in a different form. I just got some download. This is, okay, so dominantly speaking, I would say this is also the pattern for you around going through a hard time in a relationship and ending it if somebody else comes in, but that somebody else ends up hurting the vibratory, ends up hurting the energy, ends up ghosting, ends up leaving, ends up like, actually, I'm not really into this, yeah. So it's almost like being in a bond and ending that bond that's already established for some random flighty like energetic charge, or just a sexual charge, or somebody who comes in and says all the right things, and you leave, you bounce out of this commitment to then explore that thing, but that ends the commitment, and you end up brokenhearted. So I'm looking at those two 5 of Cups going, don't make the same mistake twice. So I'm actually getting this energy of like, this is possibly a bond that's going through a challenge. Maybe you're at a distance. Maybe you're not communicating very well. Maybe there are some doubts, right? But if you or the other person has already transgressed, or if there's already been on and off, maybe other people involved, you know, like not necessarily sunshine and rainbows sort of energy. And yet there's love, there's commitment. This is probably long stand, 5 years, something like this. Like you've been in this dynamic, and possibly at some point, one of these people had had something going on with somebody else, and it was painful. It was painful to heal. It was painful to get through. But it looks like you got through it, right? And or it's a pattern of behavior. So it might not be in that relationship, but you or the other person has a habit of like just bouncing when things get rough. You know, if things aren't supercharged, leaving and exploring other avenues. Grass is greener kind of vibe. But there's the lesson. I'm like, I think this is pretty strong. It's just not like super joyful, happy bliss, but there's a strength, there's a bond, there's a commitment. And there's already been a lot of emotion processed. There's already been a lot of pain and loss within it. So I'm like, there could have been quite on and off again, or maybe relationships at a distance, or like, but again, if you're in this bond and it's resonating, and then something or someone comes in from the past, it makes you think that, oh yeah, that's going to be so much better. Beware, because that's not going anywhere by the looks of these cards. Like that's just a pattern that's going to end up in heartbreak. And if anything, I would say this bond is likely to be able to get stronger by working through things, by emotionally releasing, letting go, working through it, and then coming back together, right? Let's get a few more cards for clarity. For some of you, you might want to just take a little bit of time. Yeah, first, I know it's one of those, right? But straight up, you guys, whatever bond you're in, I want to say, is reflective. This is a powerful bond. This is something that could last a lifetime. And again, you've already probably been in this bond for a while. There's a nice reflection here. There's a nice unity. There's a sense of commitment. There's a sense of growth and reflectivity. Integrity. There is a lot of integrity here. But maybe there has been a lot of on and off. Maybe you know, for a while you weren't sure if it was going to work. But certainly if you're in that commitment, and whether it was the person you're in the commitment with that strayed, or you, both people here are learning some pretty dynamic lessons in love and commitment, and transformation and healing. There's a lot of love energy here, but I also want to say there's a sense of commitment within a fairly long-standing love, but where maybe again, you're acknowledging a certain pattern. Maybe it's attracting people that are never emotionally available, that kind of thing. But again, this dynamic going through a bit of a downturn doesn't mean you have to end it. It doesn't mean there's something better on the other side. It just means that you're going to have to ride out that downturn, process the emotion, then, come back together. Because I'm now looking at these characters in the upright, and I think that's that discerning piece with regards to certain types of relationships of having enough of a sense of ourselves to know the spaciousness and freedom that we need to hold for ourselves in relationship. And there is a self-awareness. There's a power as well in this union. Maybe there's an age difference that could be part of the doubt. Status difference as well. One person here could definitely be more known, maybe in this community, or the Empress would possibly have more wealth. For example, King of Swords would be very, I want to say spiritually aware, very smart kind of thing. Well, there's a little read for you guys. I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know if that resonates with any of you. Have yourself a merry, wonderful day, and I'll speak to you real soon. Peace out, my lovers. Look after yourselves. Lots of love. Peace. Bye.